peoples of the worldwide federated internets. What's good? This gonna be a little freestyle today. I just got something on my mind that I want to share. For those of you who follow me, I'm going to ask you to do something today. I'm going to ask you to share this video to young people. And for the young people that won't watch a video, you can download my podcast on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Anchor. As a matter of fact, I don't do this for profit. I got a job. I don't need money from this, but if you download my podcast on Anchor, I do get some kickback for that because I have some ads on my podcast. So go do that. I'm a capitalist. Nothing wrong with making money. But share this with young people because I have a message for young people specifically. Young people need to be taught how to critically think. And it's definitely not something that's done in public school. And it's not really something that's done in college. And I believe that's on purpose. You're not taught to ask the right questions. And you're not taught to question a lot of things. There is, you can go on the freedomofinformationact.gov website, foi.gov, and you can look up something called Project Mockingbird. Was a CIA operation years ago that was quote unquote ended that sought to infiltrate news and media organizations with the sole purpose of influencing thought toward certain things. I do not believe that project was ended. I can't necessarily prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that project wasn't ended, but I don't think it was ended. Now, whether it's still being carried out by the CIA or some other entity, who knows? But I don't think it's ended, and I will explain why. This is for young people. Pay attention to what's told to you by the media. Look at what they sell you. Look at the landscape. Think about this. All the news organizations, all the news agencies, there's only one main news agency that even appears to have a differing opinion. MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, all of these news agencies all carry the same ideology. Now, I'm not talking about news and I'm not talking about facts because major and cable news networks rarely deal in actual news and facts anymore. It's opinion journalism. How is it that all of these reporters have the same exact opinions? You can't even get around 10 friends that have the same exact opinions. Y'all might have similar thoughts. Y'all might be able to discuss an issue and figure out, what's going on. But y'all are not going to have the same exact opinions. How is it that all of these reporters across all of these platforms, across all of these news agencies, all have the same exact opinions? And there's only one news agency that even appears to have a differing opinion. And in my personal opinion, and I could be wrong, I think they're just controlled opposition, and that's Fox News. There's a lot of people on Fox News I like listening to. I try to pay attention to all news. I watch some CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Fox. I watch all of them. I want to catch as much as I can because I don't want to get stuck in an echo chamber. Some of these other news agencies are not always wrong, but ask yourself, how is it that they all have the same exact opinions? Is that not odd to you? Because it should be. If you have all of these news agencies and they all have the same opinion and they're all selling you the same narrative, like I said, this is not about news and facts. When you turn on the news, you're rarely getting news and facts anymore. You're getting opinion journalism. So if all of these journalists have the same exact opinion, they're trying to sell you a narrative, and I need you to ask yourself why. This is why it is so important to me for this message to get to young people, young teenagers, adolescents, young adults. I'd say anybody from the age of about 10 to about 20, I would like to hear this message. Why is all the media selling you the exact same narrative? Why? You should be asking yourself that. For my young people who are white, who feel the need to be in solidarity with your black and brown countrymen for justice, kudos to you. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want you to ask yourself today, this is coming from a black man. I want you to listen to what I'm telling you today. Is racism the biggest problem that I face today? I can answer that question for you, and the answer is no. Now, do not get the wrong impression. That does not mean racism does not exist, because there's some people that carry that mantra, and that's incorrect as well. Racism does exist. But is this the overarching issue that affects me today as a black man? No, it is not. So ask yourself, why is the news media constantly pushing and hyper contextualizing race issues? Why do they harp on that so much? Again, that's not to say racism doesn't exist, but is racism the main problem and the main thing I worry about today? Absolutely not. So again, kudos to you for wanting justice, wanting equal justice. But why is the media selling you on this narrative? Why is it that the media appears to throw fuel on the fire of racism? The media does very little to help and a lot to accelerate racial tension. Ask yourself, why would they want to do that? Who benefits from that? What could come out of that? Young people, I want you to understand something. I know that you have been told, both in high school and those of you who are going off to college, I'm telling you, you're going to be told and sold on socialism and communism. And you're going to be sold this as this benevolent thing that's going to fix evil capitalism. Let me help you with something. Throughout history, one thing that socialist and communist regimes have done is they use the excitement and the exuberance of young people as a weapon, because young people are easily impressioned. Young people are easily shaped and molded. So what I endeavor to do is to undo the damage that has been done by the education system on you. I want you to think for yourself. If you have parents that are rational, sit down, listen to your parents, talk to them. Don't assume they're wrong just because they don't go along with a more left-leaning talking point. Don't assume everybody on the left has your best interest, and don't assume everyone on the right is racist. This is a narrative you're being sold by the media, and this is what they want you to believe. And I want you to ask yourself, why do they want you to believe this? Young people, there is a concerted effort to destroy the United States from the inside out. You must understand this. This is not a conspiracy theory. There has been people that have wanted the destruction of the United States for hundreds of years. since our inception. And I need you to understand that there's people who have a lot of money, and there's people who are very cunning that would love nothing more than to see the collapse of the United States, because for whatever reason, we stand in the way as a free society to their plans, whatever their plans may be. Again, I'm not here to sell you a conspiracy theory, but I'm here to ask you, young people, use your brain, because you're going to be the next generation. Lord willing, God allows me to live to an old age. If God allows me to live to an old age, you're going to be the ones running the country. And I would like this country to maintain a free and open society where we can actually have a discourse. Young people, ask yourself this question: why is social media censorship such a big deal right now? If an idea is a bad idea, why block that bad idea? You should be able to hear that out. See what a person is saying. You should be able to use some degree of reasoning, discuss some things with your parents, with your friends, and you should be able to come to some conclusions on your own. Why would ideas be censored? Young people, I want you to pay very, very, very close attention when you're watching the news, when you're hearing a news story. Don't just get emotional. Don't just run off that story. I want you to start doing some digging. Look, none of us like to research. It's tedious, but you have the information of the world in the palm of your hand. Most young people, you're walking around with cell phones. Get on your cell phone when you see a news story, go to DuckDuckGo, and just start doing some digging. Look for some statistics. If you see a video clip and the news media tells you this man said X, Y, and Z, go find the entire clip in its context so you can see what was said or what was done. If the media shares a video, go find a video in its entire context. What you will find is the media is trying to shape the way you think by pointing you in a certain direction. So don't get it confused into thinking the media is just giving you news, because that's not what's happening. The media is selling you a narrative, and they're pointing you in a direction so you will think a certain way, so they can use your excitement and your exuberance toward a certain goal. Young people, it is very important that you pay attention to this, and it is very important that you understand no system is perfect. But I've said this in another video, and I'm going to reiterate this for young people. This is the beauty of capitalism. For all of its imperfections, capitalism is impartial in this regard. If you have an idea and you have a way to get to the green, that's all that capitalism cares about, is that green. I can rock with that. That's an impartial system. If I have a good product or a good idea, I can make money. That applies to all of us. It doesn't matter if you're Hispanic. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're white. It doesn't matter what country you've come from. It doesn't matter if you're a naturalized American citizen or you were born here. If you have a good idea or a good product that people want, you can make money. That's an impartial system. That's a fair system. Not a perfect system, but it's fair. Socialism and communism is not so. Do not be sold on the lie that socialism and communism will fix our problems, because these are two ideologies that are very dangerous, and on the surface, they look good, but they are not good. I am telling you, this is not hearsay, and this is not conjecture, and this is not opinion. This is fact. These two systems will not work. We will not be in a better condition if we move to these two systems. Young people, use your brains. Start doing some digging. Start reading some articles. Find some different sources. Talk to your parents. Who, if somebody has given you this video or directed you to my podcast, talk to that person. They could probably point you in the right direction. Some different sources of information to look up. But the dangerous thing I'm seeing right now when I see a lot of these protests is I'm seeing young people whose excitement and whose exuberance is being used as a weapon, and that is a problem. Young people, I will give you this advice. Never act when you're emotional. Sit down, relax, think through what's going on, use some logic, use some reasoning, talk to somebody, bounce ideas off of somebody else. Maybe your thinking is not exactly clear in the state that you're in, but I don't want you to act off emotion, because this is where the media wants you. They can use you. They can use that emotion as a weapon. I believe more than ever, it is very important for anyone who has a younger person in their life within their reach that they can help, that they can talk to young people. Young people, as much as you probably don't want to hear this, I have a Bible worldview. That is my worldview. The media will sell you on all kinds of immorality, and they will tell you that there's nothing wrong with this. They will tell you just do whatever you want to do and live your life any way you want to live your life. This is a dangerous ideology, and this is how empires collapse. There has to be some kind of moral backbone to an empire, to a country, or it will end in chaos. Young people, do not buy the narrative you're sold. Dig, research, look, question. These are things that need to be done, and they need to be done by the youth, because that is really going to be the biggest tragedy. All of these arguments, all of these discussions, all of this anger and all of this angst in the country, and what nobody's paying attention to is young people are being sold narratives. You see, we can argue and we can debate and we can strive, but if we allow the media to shape the way young people think without getting to these young people and getting these young people to think critically, dig, question, then we've already lost. Stay frosty, people.